Good morning. Welcome to Fortune Cookie Sloppy Shuffle. So today you are get to see me like totally raw, no makeup. I rolled out of bed. I was late getting my son to school. So I'm a little bit of a disaster today, but we we're gonna do some interesting readings today. So one of the readings that I do want to do the what if that was suggested yesterday by one of my followers. So I'll end with that, but I do want to address the. It's okay to quit your job. You should celebrate quitting your job. That was just Harry who said that. So we're gonna kind of. I know other readers are doing it. Let's get a sense of what the heck he was thinking and where that came from. So we'll go to the table in just a second. So to be fun. Okay, so I stayed up way too late last night. I was up till like 1 o'clock in the morning, which is super not like me. But I wound up watching news. I don't know what I was thinking. So we're gonna do. I got a little bit of my Witch Baby soap, body butter, dragon's blood. I got dragon's blood incense burning today because I need a little bit of a oomph to get me going. I had straight coffee today in my Just a Phase mug. So I know I'm a day late on this, so I guess Harry decided he was going to tell everybody it was okay to quit your job and pursue your passions, which sounds great. Those of you that follow me, I do have a day job. I can't even fathom just quitting because it's not fulfilling. And, those of us that have families, those of us that have children, it's just not a reality. So I guess, and I had said this, before when they decided to leave the royal family. I guess it was like after Canada, before Montecito. I said, this guy's never written a check in his life. He has no idea, how people live. He has no idea. He doesn't know what it's like to, not pay the electric bill because you have to wait until you get paid on Friday, or to, say no to your kid that you can't get them the new jacket for whatever team they're on because you just can't swing it that month. He has no clue. So again, this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm just reading cards. But let's find out what the heck he was thinking. I will say this: he got the line right. He didn't flub the line. He didn't make a mistake and say genetic pain instead of generational pain. But whatever. So what was he thinking? I don't know if I said it, but if it's your first time here, like, share, and subscribe. Requests for readings you can do down below. I will see if I can get to them. Intuitively, right off the bat, I'm getting a sense of panic. I'm getting this sense, there's a sense of panic there. So this was a partnership. This was done in concert. And you know what? I used to say that term all the time, and then after the Oprah interview, I try not to say it. But this was absolutely done in concert with another party. They concocted this platform together. given for those of you that aren't in the United States, given the state of the economy here in the United States, we need people to get off their bums and go back to work. I'm one of the very fortunate ones. My company didn't skip a beat. We went fully remote and everything was great. Likewise, I started Fortune Cookies LLC with my girlfriend Shelly as a remote company during lockdown. So, if you want to work, if you want to create an opportunity to work, the opportunities are there. You just have to wrap your head around it and actually want to work. So, and I, what, I'm not trying to be flip. There are some individuals that have different challenges that they cannot go back to work. So, I do understand that, not wanting to expose yourself, those sorts of things, but I do get that. But quitting your job because you want to pursue your quote unquote passions is a bad message to send out there. That's something you do when you are in your 20s and you don't have any obligations, and you're kind of looking to figure yourself out when you're trying to find yourself. You shouldn't be finding yourself in your late 40s or early 50s. And I do think that they are speaking to that audience a little bit. The intention was to comfort and how do I want to say this? Like confirm the unhappiness of the people that are like, I really don't like going to work. I really don't like what I'm doing. The reality is, like, most of us don't love our jobs. I'm one of those people where I am going to figure out how to. There are very few situations that I can't figure out how to love, and just have some fun with it. My son's the same way. We could have fun in an insane asylum in a rubber room. You figure out how to make it work. You figure out how to enjoy your time. There are some people that just, are miserable to the core. And I feel like that is the demographic that they were speaking to, these people that, are like, oh, well, this isn't great. It's not great. That's not a good thing. You should, be happy in your skin, be happy in your situation. Gratitude, people that are employed right now with, all we've been through in the last, I'm going to say 2 years, the last 2 years, gratitude is a key element, and people should be gracious, and they should have some gratitude. And right now, he intended to reach out to those people that are miserable and try and make them feel better about the decisions that they're making, or the decisions they will be making now that he's influenced them. And it backfired. So he's like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. There's regret. He's looking back on that with regret. He thought it was a good idea. I get the sense that a lot of things with Harry, he thinks are a good idea when someone presents it to him. And he doesn't look at the whole picture. He doesn't look at the source, because the source is himself. And he has a really hard time seeing himself for the royal prince of the blood that he is. He, as much as he wants to put on the costume of being the everyman, the dude in the street, the reality is that he's not a dude in the street. He needs to go back to the history books and just look at what happens to royals that try to step out. Michael Romanov. Those of you that don't know me, I was a history minor, and my concentration was on pre and post revolutionary Russia. I do speak some Russian. Здравствуйте to any of my Russian listeners. Добрый день.
Dobro jutra. It's pretty early here right now. So, but Michael Romanov was Tsar Nicholas II's brother. He was the next in line when Nicholas abdicated on behalf of his son Alexei. His brother was the next in line, and his brother was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that." And he was executed as well. He was murdered, executed, however you want to look at it. It depends on what side of the revolution you fancy. So pretending that he is an everyman, Harry, pretending that he is the voice for all of us, it doesn't really resonate. As much as he wants it to, and I think he misunderstood how his mother was perceived. His mother was not perceived as an every woman. She was not perceived as Diana, princess of the people. She was seen as Diana, holy crow, really amazing woman that came from a noble family, married into the royal family, and had a whole bunch of drama. And, we still honor her as a royal, not as an every person. She could talk to the every person because she just had that talent. He does not. He comes off as very spoiled. So I think he is regretful about what he said. Oh, hang on, we're not doing that. I think he's very regretful about what he said. I think he's like, oh God, the backlash on this. Let's take a look. We'll get to the heart of the matter. How is he feeling on the inside? He hates it. Partnership is bad. What is a bad partnership? There's our partnerships. Okay, Two of Cups and the Lover's card, very similar. The Two of Cups is also, I'm unzipping my jacket because it's getting warm down here. Believe it or not, it is getting warm in my basement, which is usually cold. So the Two of Cups is usually a choice, happy choices when it's upright, and the Lovers is also making a decision. For those of you that study tarot, the Lovers and the Devil card are the same card, just opposite. We have the Devil and we have the two people there. So if I do any classes on YouTube, if I do any classes, I'll go through that sometime. But these are very similar cards. This was his choice, partnering. This is where he realizes it was a bad choice. So what will he do? Let's take that one. He's gonna double down on it though, because he's like, well, I already said it, cat's out of the bag, so I'm gonna double down on it. I'm just gonna stick to my guns on it. I'm gonna be as he feels like this is integrity. Like if he sticks with this crazy notion of, I'm speaking for the people, the people that have been wrong. One of the things when I was in college a long time ago, there was this individual that I knew that was very socialist minded, which we always got into it because of my background with studying the Russian Revolution. And he would tell me that the moguls of America made their money off the backs of the American people, which is not necessarily true. Maybe at the turn of last century, we had some issues with that, but lots of people in the 80s made employees and board members millionaires. So it really, again, it's the way you look at it. If you're a mailroom person, yeah, you might be working your butt off for the man. But if you are someone who is moving up through the company through your efforts and your additional efforts and through your intelligence, then that's a little bit different. You could actually become a millionaire in the 80s and the 90s. So now a little bit more difficult because of the situation we're in, but nonetheless. So this particular incident, he really did have a pure heart. He really meant well. I'm sorry. He really meant well. It just didn't come off. And I'm sorry about all the smoke. I've got, I don't know if you can see it here. I've got gravity backflow incense, and this is my little dragon. He's over there. So he really did go into this situation with a great deal of innocence and good faith. He really did think that he was speaking for the people. So he's going to think about it, and he is going to see how it plays out. The Wheel of Fortune affords us chances to redeem ourselves. I hope that he doesn't. I hope he doesn't try and redeem himself. I hope that's not what this card is about. He just needs to. I keep saying this. Just stop. Just stop. So. Little more coffee. Just a Face. It's my favorite mug in the whole world. Love this mug. Not slurping my coffee. I hope you couldn't hear me swallowing. So let's see what Megan thinks of Sloppy Shuffle Tarot. It happens every time. Sloppy, sloppy. Let's see what Megan thinks. Okay, so we all know this one, right? This is our disappointment card. Temperance. She is trying to balance out the good and the bad. She's trying to... she's thinking her way out of this paper bag. So it's one of the things that I get about her is that she is always these sparks of ideas. She's very much what if person. Like, what if we backed this cause? What if we made a statement about this? What if? She's very what if, but there's it actually kind of stops there. So like if you were like I use a tools for what is it, Tools for Life planner. I have a paper planner because like I that's what I need to do. That's the way my brain works. I need a paper planner. I can't do it on my phone. Tried it, doesn't work. Tools for Wisdom. I'm sorry. Tools for Wisdom. The number 4. So if you want a good planner, if you like paper planners, go get one. I don't get any money for that. So, but in that planner, it's got like at the beginning of the month and at the beginning of the year, it's got breakdowns of things that you want to achieve and the steps to get there. I feel like she kind of stops at the overview, like thing you want to achieve, and she doesn't put all the steps in that you have to go through. So, example, when I started Fortune Cookies LLC, Fortune Cookies Tarot LLC, the first thing I did was I started a Facebook group. Started, working with the people that were already following me on Facebook, friends and family, that sort of thing. And then I branched out and I got the website. And now I've branched out and I've gotten the YouTube channel, and, did live parties and did private readings on, through Zoom and through other, Facebook Messenger. So, you kind of have to plan out those steps. And for 2022, we'll have some neat stuff coming up too. But the latest step for me is the YouTube channel, which is really fun, and I really appreciate all of you listening and watching. I hope I'm not boring. But so she doesn't get past the initial idea. She just kind of is like, well, let's do this idea, and then she drops that baby in someone's lap. And she's like, well, figure out how we're going to get from this idea. This is $1 million idea. Figure out how we're going to get from this $1 million idea. And you get the staff and you do all the work, and I'll just be the spokesperson. And that's not really how, greatness comes about. You don't have greatness by foisting the work upon others. It's very feudal thinking if you really come down to it. Again, this is somebody who would benefit from doing a little bit of research into the Russian Revolution, what actually happened there. It's a very complicated subject, but it is one of my favorite subjects, and I will likely do some readings on Nicholas and Alexandra, what if readings on them. I think that might be fun. Hoping that's not boring for everybody, but I'll give you a little history lesson if I do that, for those of you that aren't aware of it. It's fascinating history. Sad but fascinating. So the Eight of Cups is our walking away from it. Now, those of you that follow me know that this is walking away from, how come I can't get in there? There we go. Walking away from something that's good but not great. So when it's in reverse, this is the indecision about giving up on something that's failing you. So the idea behind this is that there is, she's at an impasse intellectually. Again, for entertainment purposes only, I'm just reading the cards. So intellectually, not sure how to proceed. All avenues are not looking like they will yield much. It kind of looks like all of her moves would be bad. It's like if you're playing chess and you're really just kind of stuck in a spot, you're not sure where to go. And that also pulls in the star card. Now the star, when it's upright, is hope, looking toward the future, hopeful for the future, good things ahead. But when it's in reverse, it's, we've got questions about that. We've got questions about whether things are going to pan out, how we're going to make those hopes and dreams come true. Doubling down on strength because of the tough decisions that need to be made. So swords, remember, they're cutting, they're thinking. This is intellect. This is truth right here. But we've got using strength to figure out what's going to get pruned, what's going to stay, what's going to go. And this is real ultimate disappointment. So, there's not so great stuff going on over there. So, I have a new deck. Well, it's not a new deck, but it's a deck that I haven't presented to any of you yet. We're going to take a look at this. So this is the Double Major Tarot, and it's pretty cool because it's just the major arcana and the court cards, and they have two of each. So you can see the Hierophant is a little bit different there. The Tower, a little bit different. Or people are on the ground, and someone is trying to hold that up. And the Queen of Cups being very dramatic. So Page of Pentacles is upside down. So let's take a look at how this relationship has transformed Harry. Let's see if we can get like a storyline about how this relationship, the marriage, has transformed Harry. Because let's face it, seems to be a pretty dramatic transformation. He does not look the same. Now, read a book once about something called walk-ins, which are people that get very depressed and very sad. It was actually a really frightening book. It was a metaphysical book. But it's about people that get very depressed and they want to check out and they don't want to take themselves out. So at some point they kind of check out spiritually and another spirit walks in. And it's, these people that we see profound personality changes. It's a really spooky book. especially if you've ever known anyone who had like a profound personality change after some kind of traumatic event or after an accident, something like that. So it's pretty neat. But it's almost like Harry is like a completely different person. And in my reading, when I read for Catherine, I think she is kind of mourning the loss of him. I think his brother has come to terms with the fact that his brother is that Harry is irrevocably changed, but I don't think Catherine. I think Catherine is an optimist, and I think she thinks that they can get him back. So coffee is starting to kick in too. So let's see. How did Harry change as a result of this relationship? How did he change? And I will read these upright. We're going to do a timeline with these. Well, that is fairly powerful, isn't it? So we have the Page of Cups. Page of Cups is full of love and ready to go and optimistic. When he's upright and with this deck, it's not foolishly optimistic. It's, sorry, sip of coffee. It is joyously optimistic. This is unsullied optimism and being, just super happy and a lot of honesty here. Like this is a really honest relationship, moving into it, wanting things to be happy, wanting things to be good. And the magician has all the tools at his disposal. He's joyful and ready to go and says, hey, let's do this together. Now, one of the things with the magician is that the magician sometimes is a little too egotistical. And the magician sometimes is like, well, I've got this and I've got some other stuff. So sometimes when we get the magician, these guys are sometimes players, and I don't mean players like in the really awful narcissistic sense, but in the sense of like dudes in college, like the really good looking dudes in college, has like a couple of girlfriends that like he's hanging out with, but has no problem going to the bar. And like, I guess it's like very 90s thinking because no one goes to bars anymore. But, he has no problem like going to the bar and like scoping for other chicks. Like if a cool chick walks by, somebody tickles his fancy, he's gonna take that opportunity and have a chat. Which is fine, I mean, I think we all saw that from him, but I don't think that, there are other people that have done readings about him that, he was mean to, when he was in the service, he was mean to girls, hired ladies, let's put it that way. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I mean, I think this is strictly personal relationship. The personal and close relationships, he meant well. I think Chelsea Davies had said, he was always in some kind of crisis. There was always some kind of cyclical crisis. But this is the relationship with Meghan. Moving into it was, at the top of his game. It looks like really at the top of his game. Pinnacle of life. Happy, healthy, ready to take on. Very quickly, that crashed and burned. It's almost like now one of the interesting things about this particular spread, and I'm going to just bring it up a little bit closer so y'all can see. So the magician has all of the tools, the sword, the cup, the wand, and the pentacle on the table. In the death card, if you look in the second death card, oh man, all of those elements, the suits of the pips, are scattered in the field and rusting. So what tools he had, what gifts he had that he was wielding and, deftly like moving through, are now dead. So this is where he was squashed. And whatever he was doing professionally, personally, was squashed, and he was called out on it. It was like, hey, you're doing the wrong thing. That's not helping anyone. That's the sense I'm getting here, is that you need to do better. You need to change your charity. You need to switch gears, because that's not helping anyone. It's so old school thinking. Whether it was old school thinking or not, may have been appropriate for the Commonwealth and the United Kingdom. Changing gears on this, it really, this very early on, this was when it got squished, and he started to make a shift, and he turned into our King of Swords. King of Swords is sometimes bright and decisive and logical and sometimes cold leader, but this turned him bitter. This made him very bitter, because there were things that were brought to light that did not sit well, and now this unhappy component of his character, here we go from the Page of Cups to the King of Swords. This unhappy component was what the light was shown. The light was shown on that, and that's what was allowed to grow, which is quite sad. He was not, this relationship has not nurtured the nice, childlike, adorable, altruistic person. It's raised and nurtured this bitter, cranky sourpuss, who is disappointed with everything and everyone. I don't get the sense that he even really likes the people that he's speaking to. He's like almost disgusted with them. Like, why aren't they doing more? He can't understand like why people aren't doing more to help themselves, like quit their jobs when they don't have savings. Like, he's not getting it, and he's going to get very frustrated with that audience. So let's see how the Megs developed in this relationship. Again, I'm just reading cards. This is for entertainment purposes only. How did she develop? How did she develop in this relationship? How did she develop? So this is kind of neat. We have the secondary King of Swords, who is very confident, arrogant even, immovable. This is not, the other King of Swords will negotiate, will debate with you. This King of Swords firmly plants that sword into the ground, and they're going to stick to their guns. They're not going to move on their opinion. So this is someone who is very, very confident that they were right and that they had the right ideas. So she stuck with that. The reality was the Knight of Wands. Knights, remember, are all about action, but this knight is not about action. This knight has lost his horse. He got off his horse. He lost the plot is the term that comes to mind immediately. The ideas are lost and the trajectory is lost. This is somebody who is stuck on the spark, and not on the execution of the idea, only concerned with the finances at the end of it all, only concerned about the money that we get. Now, this is where this spread gets very, very interesting. So, the World, I'm just going to consult the book a little bit. The World card in traditional tarot, this is completion. This is ending. And this is the card number 1. This is card number 2. So, in this double major deck, and I just want to see if there... Yes, this is victory and success. Completion means the same as in our regular deck. This is someone who is carefree. They're out there. She's naked. That's always a sign of being out there. And wielding both of those wands is power and celebration with the laurel wreath. The second card, completion too. But now she has exited the situation. Exited the situation, is now clad in a robe, so there is some concealment. We have a lot of clouds. We've got more concealment, gaslighting, if you will. So this is very, very interesting that the relationship has progressed in this way and is ending with the World. Or not relationship, her personality has progressed in this way. Very, very interesting. So, so now I promised I would do the what if reading. It's a one simple question. What if... Let's do this. What if William called her out? What if Harry found her out? What if William found her out? What if Harry... We'll do 3. What if Charles found her out? What if William found her out? What if Harry found her out? What her true intentions were. What if? What if? What if? What if? What if they found her out? What if they found her out early on? Before the marriage. What if they found her out before the marriage? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, and I'll move that up. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. We'll move these up. It probably would be easier if I move the camera. All right, so we got Chucky Baby. Shouldn't do that. That's disrespectful. So if Charles... Hang on, I just want to move the Star Tarot out of the way. If Charles had found her out, initially this would have been very, very complicated. And it would have been very upsetting in the family. Likely Harry would have been upset with him. It was not what he wanted. He wanted Harry to have a relationship. He wanted Harry to be happy. And it would have been upsetting to him to have to tell him, yeah, this isn't it. This isn't the one you want. You don't want to be in a situation like what I was. You don't want to be in a marriage that will fall apart. You want to be in something that is solid. Ultimately, he would have been successful. He would have been successful in telling him that. But I do get the sense that it was Charles was wooed by her for some time. he is a sucker for a pretty face. He's a sucker for anybody that's flirting with him, and I think Harry gets a little bit of that too. I think he falls victim to the flirty. So he's just very excited, like when young ladies pay attention to him. Likely, this would have interfered with the foundations of the relationship, and I think it would have been. I think they would have been willing to do a payout on that. I think he would have, had he read the road signs that popped up. I think he would have he would have done a payout. Eventually, though, what came to light, because the sun brings everything to light, was the shady behavior. And it was too late when he figured it out after the wedding. So if William had found out earlier, which I think he had her number, he would have planned for a more disruptive circumstance in the relationship. I think he would have set him up with someone else, but I don't think it would have been successful. I don't think I think Harry dug his heels in very, 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 very hard on this. And if we look here, he just was a fool in love. This is going to be great future. This is going to be happy family. It's going to be warm and wonderful. And my mother once described me to a boyfriend as, and my mother rode horses when she was younger. And by younger, I mean in her adulthood. She said, Anna is that beautiful stallion that you see in the stable and you go, oh my God, I want to ride that horse. And then you get on her and you go, oh shit. So, I think Harry had a very similar experience to that. I think he was like, oh, this is great. We're going to work together. It's going to be cooperative. We're going to have this great relationship. And the reality was, when he realized what he was in, he was like, oh boy. And it was too late. I think, he got in way too late. So these what ifs are kind of like what ifs, but what now? So I hope you enjoyed that. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. I know this is like a really long reading. I will try and get to some of my One Direction readings later today, if possible. I had a long day at work yesterday, so I didn't get to my reading until this morning. It was a very, very late night. I didn't even make dinner until 9 o'clock. So I hope all of you have a fabulous, witchy, wonderful, wicked Wednesday, and I will talk to you soon. We'll do some readings tonight. Private readings can be booked in my bio on YouTube, or you can private message me. I will talk to you soon. Have a great day, everybody.